Hello, everybody. Let me get my mic in here a little better. You just fix this thing, I tell you. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hopefully, we've got some new folks on this time. This is a repeat from my December webinar, but I've added some recent industry research that I've done on apartments, residential, commercial, as well as I downloaded the IBS moving report that they churn out pretty much every year. So every January, I download this big report. It gives me all kinds of trends in the moving industry, trends in just forecasts, where the direction of the moving industry's been going. And so I've taken a lot of that into this month's planning for your 2025 marketing. And so this time what we're going to do is I'm going to go kick this off here. I'm going to share my screen really quick. Allow, of course, allow. And we're going to, hold on, let me share the slideshow here. There we go. All right. All right, here we go. Now, yeah, so if you could just take a moment, turn off your cell phones and turn off Facebook and chat. And if you're a moving company owner and you're serious about growing your business, results this year, I just recommend the next hour will change your life, but I highly recommend kind of watching it, at least to get some tips, some ideas on what to do for 2025. I'm going to get into other areas for industry trends, like I mentioned in the very beginning, marketing trends, what we're seeing, setting some goals for 2025, marketing strategies, some marketing channels you should be tapping into, maximize your leads, putting that map into action, mapping your plan for accomplishment. I'm not one really to talk about big goals. I know that's kind of a standard when it comes to marketing and, kind of coaching and all that stuff. Put down your goals. I feel like goals are great, but you got to map them out. We're not going to know where we're going unless we built at least instructions and directions to get there. So I'm just all about setting the goals, but how am I going to get to those? So we're going to determine some KPIs. What are they and how you'll track to achieve them? Talk about creating a budget, what channels you should be working on. And if there's anybody that's got any questions, happy to help. And I do have a lot of freebies throughout this. And here's the first one. This is, if you haven't seen this one yet, this is the, and I'll have to double check, but this tool that I've got here, it takes a moment to switch it up. So I always have to kind of be careful here. There we go. Now, as you notice, if you click this link, you are going to, it'll ask you to copy this worksheet. So go ahead, if you've got a Google account, I recommend using that and then creating a copy for yourself. So this is the tool I recommend downloading. Again, making a copy for yourself. This helps you kind of determine what your budget should be like and how you should distribute the budget based on your revenue goals for this year, what your average ticket value is, and what your average conversion rate from callers to a booked job, what does that look like? Because this is all going to tell you how many leads you need to be getting per year, how many you need to be converting. So this is a really great tool to help you figure that out. Over here is the budget allocations. This is where we kind of break it down more. We start getting into, are you going to put 100% into digital? Are you going to do 90, say 85%, and maybe 10% offline, and then we're going to another 5% with some networking. So maybe we'll do some chamber stuff, BNI, some networking, meetups, other realty associations, how we're going to get out there and meet people. So there's a budget to that. And this is where we kind of break that down. So based on a $500,000 budget, it doesn't leave you a lot of room. We've got a marketing budget of 8%, which is pretty typical. I don't recommend going lower, although a lot of people go into the conservative route of going 5%, but just know that it will affect your ability to get the right kind of leads. So highly recommend downloading this tool, and this will absolutely help you with your marketing budget. Then who am I and why should you listen to me? All right. So I've kind of been this a couple times, but I think the biggest thing for me, and why you should listen to me is, one, I've been in this business for 25 years. I've helped a lot of people grow their business. A lot of people stick around as well. I'm very transparent, very honest, and I will be very upfront with you with how this all works. And I'll try and do my absolute best to make sure you understand. The other side to this is I was in the Defense Department for 10 years. I worked as a logistician. So I did a lot of work on inventory management. I was there during the second Gulf War, helping bring all the containers back. So I've got that mindset. I've been in your shoes, but just on a bigger scale with the Defense Department. And it was very, very beneficial. I really enjoyed it. Good people worked there, but that's been a while since I've been there. But ever since then, I married a Marine, and that had me move every 2 years. So in addition to the fact that I was in inventory management, the other side of it is I moved every 2 years, which I am your customer. I've been military moves, commercial moves, personal moves, DIY moves, neighbor moves, down the street moves, cross the country moves. I've done it. I've moved it. And so I've been that customer of yours. So I've got a lot of experience in that regard. In addition to the fact that 22 decades of being in digital marketing, website development. Built out hundreds of websites over my 25 years. These are just a few of the moving companies that I've worked with and worked on. And those past, I think I started really kind of working with moving companies past 4 years. So these are just a few of the websites that we've done. And my team, our mission is to double the sales of 1,000 moving companies. And I really want to kind of see that happen. My team is very engaged. They're very helpful. And our mission really not only is the double the sales, but our mission is to really make sure everybody understands digital marketing and has that, at least a basic understanding. I don't want people to go into this thing thinking, not knowing how this all works. I don't want you to be hidden as to all the secret sauce, because there really is no secret sauce. There's a lot of steps to make things happen, a lot of back end, a lot of technology, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't understand it and know it. All right. My goal also is I want you to nail your marketing in 2025. And what I'm going to do right now is we're going to talk about 2025 moving industry trends. And this is where I'm going to kind of break this down with homes, condos, apartments, office. And then I've got the last section as I go into some of the industry trends in the moving industry nationwide. So first off is I'm looking at 2025. This comes from the Realtor Association. I pulled existing home sales and pending home sales. And this is kind of what I got here. Nationally, the home prices are expected to rise 2 to 4% year over year, with some regions increasing slightly higher. Sales trends, existing home sales are predicted to slowly increase after a decline in recent years, with new home sales potentially seeing more significant growth due to builder incentives. Market factors influencing the market include rising interest rates, inflation, limited inventory in some areas, and the changing buyer demand. So in my opinion, this is a very good outlook for 2025 for moving companies. People are going to start spying and selling and moving around. Going backwards. All right. Then we're also seeing young adults are moving out more. Many young adults are moving out for the first time and need affordable moving services. I know since the pandemic, I have a daughter that just graduated and she's looking for a job. She's at home right now, but we expect in the next 3 to 4 months, she's going to be moving out soon. Her and a few of her friends are going to be moving into an apartment together. So there has been a bit of, I think, a delay in people graduating since the pandemic. There was about a year where nobody was doing well in college. A lot of kids stayed an extra year, did a lot of summer. So we're kind of seeing this flux. In fact, I was at a graduation and there were a few people that were supposed to graduate last year and the year before. They just showed up at this year's graduation. So I'm seeing this trend of this. And you can see here that the Real Estate Association is also seeing it, of young people. More people are buying homes. It's been up 6.1% in late 2024, which means more moves happening. I think number 2 is probably the biggest indicator for ourselves, which I'm so happy to see. 2024, I think you all can agree, was a little rough, right? It's a little rough. And I'm, happy to say that this is where we're headed. I'm happy. Seasonal trends, more homes on the market, meaning more moving opportunities, but most moves still happen at a specific time, like the summer. Buyers adapting to 6 to 7 rates drive moves within the state. Again, I think another area that I was noticing is a lot more in-state moves, which most moving companies are typically local, maybe 100 miles out, but they don't tend to cross state lines unless obviously they've got the license for it or have the insurance for it. So that's a good thing to see. Localized marketing, highly affordable, reliable, and tailored solutions for homeowners and renters. And really what that means is that if you are targeting young people and we are targeting those that are buying new homes, maybe we need to kind of specialize our marketing to target them. Just a quick trend. So this was economic and housing market outlook as of October 2024. And you can see the forecast for 2025 is pretty good. Everything's indicating is a little higher. So again, happy to see that in 2025 as compared to 2024. Apartment demand has been trending up for 2 years and will continue to do so. This is from, this is from the apartment. Yeah. Nope, that's the office. So I'll share with that one in a bit. I had one for ED. I think it was ED Suite. It was ED Suite. Nope, that's not ED Suite. That's another company that I'm working on. Sorry, I'll have to find it. It's another company here. Let me go back. Sorry, guys. Let me get out of this because I want to make sure you guys know where I get this data from. All right, here it is. All right. This is the apartment data, ALN data. So if you guys want to go check it out, it's the ALN data expectations for 2025 multifamily. This is where I'm getting this data from. So if you guys want to check it out. So optional regional market focus, slower relocations in Dallas, Atlanta, and Tampa. Smaller cities and suburbs are seeing an increased activity. Young adults are moving out. Demand for growth in affordable housing. And affordable housing doesn't mean like the lowest end of homes. These are for people that are looking for first-time apartments, first-time renters, and budget-conscious tenants. So just keep that in mind when you're coming up with your pricing. I know people have minimums, and but just understand when you're doing the marketing, this is where the trend is going, is these young first-time renters. And don't forget, first-time renters, they got to move again. You know, these are 1 year, 2 year leases. So keep them on your rosters and be sure to respond to them in a year and say, congratulations on a year. Are you looking to move again? Just keep top of mind. Just know that. Seasonal trends, construction delays impact peak moving seasons. Looks like there's been a migration to the Sun Belt and Mountain West, like Boise, Utah. Apartments, again, I'm speaking about apartments. Highlight services in high demand, regions with migration focused campaigns and affordability. Again, same deal. All right, office. Rising demand and return to the office trends drive growth for movers. Now, I don't know. I'm not going to get into politics here. This isn't my, I'm not getting into it. But there's been a lot of conversation about people going back into the office. A lot of disgruntled workers, I understand. But there is a trend. There has been movement that we get back into the office and we stop working so much from home, which means return to the office momentum. Hybrid employees are pushing for greater office attendance, driving demand for office expansion. So that 2020 frame, when we were losing office space and people were moving out, we should be looking at people moving back into office space. And it's according here, we've got this is again another source that I got, GIL, which I think I've already got open. Yeah, U.S. office market dynamics. If you want to check it out, since 2021, so this is pretty recent, and this is Q4 of 2024 is where I got this data from. Check that out if you want. Again, positive net absorption, first positive net absorption quarter since 2021, with availability declining for 2 consecutive quarters. Expect reduced vacancies, potential growth in office relocations. Rising rents and improving lease economics suggest growing demand for cost-effective relocations or upgrades to more attractive spaces, and a scarcity of new supply. New construction remains at historic lows, with more inventory removed for conversions and redevelopments, creating opportunities for movers specializing in renovated spaces. So again, home sales are going up, apartments are being rented by young people, and we got all the people moving back into the office. So when we're looking at future for 2025 marketing, how are we going to address these trends? How are we going to take advantage of people finally kind of picking up and moving again? I just was curious. I wanted to see what that trend looked like since the post-pandemic. And this is the volume by co-working providers that are excluded for pre-pandemic average. But you can see how low it was. And now we're seeing a bit of a drive back into the office. Interesting. At least I find it interesting. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit again about some marketing adjustments, not market adjustments, marketing adjustments. Align your resources to match rising demand in local housing hotspots. Partner with realtors and property managers for steady referrals. If you haven't done this yet, I highly recommend getting in touch with realtors and spending some time with networking realtors, networking with apartment complex owners. I've talked to a few people. They've actually physically gone around and gotten a list of apartment managers, drove over there, dropped off business cards and flyers and all that good stuff. So think about how you can build a steady referral of these folks that are constantly in front of your target audience. Flexible services like small moves, storage, packing can cater to budget conscious clients. Again, we got young people that are moving out. They might be 24, 25, 26, could be late 20s. They don't have the budget of somebody in their 40s and 50s moving from a 3-bedroom house. So how are we going to accommodate that, still build the business without lowering our price and our services? What can we do for that? So could be we kind of adjust. Maybe we do pack onlys. Maybe we do labor only. Maybe we only do, drop offs. I'm not, I think those are some areas that we're going to have to adjust and fix and look at. But definitely apartments is one of those too. And I've talked to a couple movers and they're saying that with apartments, it's a lot easier to move apartments that can do 2 or 3 in one day, which I find interesting. And I think that's something to think about if you haven't kind of targeted apartments before. Tailored commercial services for 2025, support moves to smaller cost-effective spaces or renovated offices, offer specialized IT modular setup for hybrid and downsizing businesses. I think that's something else that we want to kind of look at. How can we offer the one-stop shop type of moving company where you've got maybe an IT on maybe a strategic partnership with an IT company that can help you pack up all the office, properly pack it, properly put it back together on the other end. That could be an additional business source for you as well. Just again, some numbers here, total numbers of businesses and annual change. This comes from an IBIS moving industry report from 2024. I get this every year. I download this every year. It's about $1,000. But it's very, very helpful. Lots of good data in there. You can see the decline. It says total number of businesses and annual change from 2011 and then forecasting into 2029. And you can see how we peaked in 2020 and now we're kind of slowly dropping down. So there's been a slight increase in the number of businesses, but employees per business has gone down and revenue per business has gone down. So adjust marketing accordingly. Profit margin did go up though. We had a 3.2% increase in total profit between 2019 and 2024. Profit margin was at 7.7%. So that's on average. This is what the IBIS report. Let me see. This is the IBS World Moving Services in the US. And this is the 2024 report. Again, if you're welcome to go buy it. I can't share this. It's really strict about it. It's, like I said, it's like $1,000 for this report. But I do refer to this report quite frequently. There's a lot of good data in there. I highly recommend downloading this and getting this for yourself to look at when you are coming up with your business plan, with your SWOT, your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats. This is a really great tool for that. And in fact, they've even got a section in here. Let's just go over that real quick. Not in my presentation, but I'm like, why not? All right. So strengths, low competition, low imports, low customer class concentration, high revenue per employee, low capital requirements. Weaknesses are low and steady level of assistance, low profit versus sector average, high product service concentration. Some opportunities, high revenue growth, High revenue growth, existing home sales and threats, low revenue growth, low outlier growth, low performance drivers, and world price of crude oil, which obviously will affect how your profitability. All right. I just thought that was interesting. Okay. Industry structure looks steady. Okay. Now, I don't want to go through every one of these. Just a summary of what I was seeing in the IBIS report. Economic recovery, businesses rely on moving services, relocating, and operations. Remote and hybrid work structures are reshaping office culture, like we talked about. Technology investments, rising inflation and labor costs increase operational expenses. Companies like ArcBest use AI for route management. I think that's a big deal right now, is using AI as much as possible to save you money in various, whether that's software, that's human. I've got some ideas as well for this, but how can we save some money using AI, and how can we perform better and become more efficient? Oil price volatility is going to be an issue, energy fluctuations and industry impact, tight budget limits, growth in commercial moving demand, investment into technology and efficient energy use offer long-term benefits despite short-term costs. All right, I got to see if there's anybody asking questions. I'm using a new tool here, so forgive me as I try and find what's going on here. I don't see. Let's see here. Captions? No. I guess I should go over YouTube and look and see if there's. I can't see where I've got any. Where is it? Let me go to YouTube really quick because I want to see. I don't want to be missing anybody's comments. Okay. Not that one. Sorry, guys. I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody's comments right now. Okay. Then how am I going to watch? Okay. All right. We're good. Awesome. Back on track here. All right. Let's talk about some important marketing trends, what we're seeing coming down the pipeline when it comes to marketing. I would say the first is growing popularity of AI, focusing on Google, but with ChatGPT baked into Bing results. Consider how you're ranking on Bing and ChatGPT. One thing I like to do is using ChatGPT, what does the brand say? If I if I put a prompt in with your company name, is it clear? Do we know who you are? If I search for you in a ChatGPT, that's one of the simplest ways of seeing how you're coming across to ChatGPT. Online scheduling, your clients would prefer to schedule it directly online. I don't know if you've noticed this, but a lot of people don't like talking on the phone. And the younger generations, as they get older, that's going to become less and less. I think texting is obviously the biggest method, but if we can schedule some online immediately, as well as knowing how much it'll cost. So all of this happening all at once. There are some tools out there that you can find that will immediately schedule I've got a tool that helps with schedule, but again, it's all based on your availability and trucks. And obviously it's got to look at the size and all, but I think there's tools out there to help you. There's an AI tool right now, and I spoke to them. I got a demo of it last month, and it was a way of taking pictures and uploading, and it would immediately tell what's in the photo, and it could come up with an estimated price to move based on pictures and video, which is fantastic. So if you can import that and use that on your website, I say go for it. You might get a faster conversion. Two-way text messaging is also crucial nowadays. I think that's you're going to have some kind of CRM to have conversations in the sales process as well as afterwards. So, hey, I'm interested in a 2-bedroom move. If we can set some kind of AI bot that can answer basic questions and give a roundabout estimate for how much it might cost to move a 3-bedroom apartment, because you don't want to be wasting your time having 20-minute conversations. Not wasting your time, but spending a lot of time on that. If we can come up with an AI chatbot that will help us convert easily and give a quick estimate. Some people don't like that. They want to have the conversation because we want to have a sales call. I get that. But I think there's just this big trend of people just using text and using these online generator tools. So I would test it. AI lead follow up. I would certainly have some way of following up with everybody. We have a system in place where if somebody requests an estimate, there is a follow up system that comes afterward. So we do have a top of mind. I know that when people call and they immediately hang up, they're calling 2 or 3 other moving companies. But if we can get them to call and get their phone number, get their email address at least, we can at least send them an immediate text that says, "Thank you for your call. We'll be calling you right back." Or an email, they do an email, can we send them an immediate email reply and a receipt asking for that? "Hey, thanks for checking us out. We'll be replying within about 30 minutes, whatever you want to say. But at least have some way of acknowledging them when they call or they email or text. I would say AI voice receptionist is the next big thing. I am testing this out currently with my own business. I have it set up. If you call our main number, it's not on our website yet. It's a different number, sorry. You will hear, what's her name? Sarah, the AI voice assistant, and she will help you answer questions. It will text you my calendar through a link to my calendar. And some people didn't know it was a bot. I heard it lie. It said it was not a bot. It said it was real. And I said, don't do that. So we had to go back to the prompt and update that. So it said, "Hi, I'm Sarah, the AI voice assistant." Just so it's very clear. I don't want people to be fooled by that. Be very authentic and truthful about who you're talking to. The other is an authentic video content. People, if you haven't noticed Instagram and TikTok lately, there has been a lot of push and a lot of movers actually do real-time video actual while they're at the move. I wouldn't say live, but people are less and less afraid. And I would say the younger generation are about this. I'm saying, 40 and below are okay with pulling out their phones and doing quick video. So this is really important. If you haven't done that yet, try and do some real video, post that on your social media. In addition, authentic media, period. Photos of your team at work are really, really important. So I highly recommend working on that. All right, set clear goals for 2025. If you fail to plan, you won't work. What we're trying to do is we're trying to keep the phones working. I want to keep the crews working. I want to keep the trucks moving. So how are we going to make all of that happen? Well, the first is we want to map out 2025. How many leads do you need to get and how many do you need to convert? If you haven't done so, I recommend getting my annual workbook. Again, you can just download this, make a copy of this. Oh, great. I'll fix this. Why isn't that working? This is your 2025 Internet Marketing Plan. Why isn't that working? Hold on, guys. Let me find out what's working here. Let's see here. Where is my plan, my guide? Normally it works. What's going on? Oh, because I'm not logged in. There we go. Let's see if it works again now. You can't see this. Usually I've got it right in front of me. I just checked it too. I don't know why it's not working. Let's get into, instead of searching for it. Nurture. There we go. Okay. Jeez. Jeez Louise. All right. Hey, it's live, everybody. Woohoo. All right. 2025 Internet Marketing Plan. So this is going to go through pretty much everything that I'm talking about. Getting your current snapshot, how many trucks, how many drivers that you have as of the end of 2024, and what your goal is for 2025. Your year-end targets, again, opening up that worksheet, coming up with your total revenue, how many jobs you need per month, how many leads you need per month. Then we've got your digital marketing strategy, which I'm going to go through all this. So I highly recommend downloading this. And I'm going to I got to fix my link here. So I'm going to put this in the chat. Can I do it in the chat here? Here. There we go. There you go. All right, chat. There you go. That's it. All right. Now, all right. So now let's keep on moving here. All right. Lead generation. We just talked about this. So use this tool to come up with your revenue, your total number of leads, how many you need to get per month, how many book moves you need to have. And then using that snapshot that we talked about, just filling in those gaps. What do I need to have done for 2025? Coming up with those key metrics. These are the questions I typically ask anybody that we start to work with. Some people have an idea, perfectly acceptable. If you don't, I take that back. You should know these numbers. You should know what your current average revenue is. You should know how many leads you get on average per month. You should know how many you convert and what your conversion rate is. Those are at least those 4 things you should know. Is it working? Is it not working? As a total, some people don't know, well, I don't know if my paid ads are working. I don't know if my lead generation tool from like one of these online media, was it media tool, media something, and Quote Runner and all those kind of tools that send leads. We don't know. We just know as a total, how much are we spending on total? How many leads do we get? Then I would even ask how many are qualified that you actually send estimates to, but really it's about total leads and how many you booked. All right, and then fill in the gaps, right? So we have an average monthly revenue, 5 million, let's say typical number of projects run per month, average tickets, 1,500, average conversion, 30%, right? And just kind of coming up with that average snapshot. What is it that we're looking at here? But building it out and coming up with a methodology. And I don't think I showed this earlier. So here's what I'm talking about. We've got a marketing planning, lead generation target planner. Let's just say we've got $1 million we're trying to get for 2025, which means you've got an average monthly revenue of $83,333. We've got average ticket value, maybe $1,600. Some people, let's just do $1,000 as an average ticket value, which means I have to hit 83 jobs a month, completed moves a month to get to my $1 million. Now, this is where you start playing with it. Maybe I need to raise my rates. Maybe I need to increase my average ticket value to 1,100 so I don't have to have so many booked moves. Then we have an issue of how many leads do I need to get in order to get those booked moves. If you have a really low conversion rate of 10%, that is going to really affect the number of leads you need. If we can bump it up to 20%, we've just practically halved the number of leads you need per month, 379 total leads. And that's lead to booked job. Average cost per generated lead gets into $91, average annual budget required to hit the target. And I think that's where I come something out over here. Yeah. Now, monthly revenue, annual revenue. This is something else. Don't look at that. All right. So now we've got the budget planner. Let me go back and put this in here. I was talking with another client before. So if we had $1 million budget, and let's just put typical is 8%. 8% is the rule of thumb when it comes to a marketing spend for a typical marketing budget. 15% is really, really aggressive. You're really pumping out a lot of dollars into marketing to get those leads. 8% is typical. 5% is really conservative. Lots of folks don't want to do that. I say go in the 6 to 7%, kind of get in the middle then, which means we have a total annual marketing budget of $60,000. kind of gets scary at first, but we're trying to get to the $1 million range now, which is 60,000 is only 6%. Now we've got to break down where are we going to spend our dollars. Most people put a lot of the money into digital marketing. So I kind of break it up 85%, 10% offline, could be billboards, direct mail, TV, radio ads, and then 5% to repeat business. Networking functions, associations that you might want to attend, like a realtors association. You know, if you've got to join a membership, if you've got to go to the clubs and buy lunch, how much this is all going to cost. And now we break it down. So we're looking at, with a 6% marketing budget, $4,250 is where we would spend typically for an online marketing. Offline would be about $500. Repeat business, again, nurturing your repeat business, email marketing could be one of those, $250, which is kind of low, but doesn't take a lot of your time. Don't forget your time is spent on this. Anyway, $4,250, or you go all in and you all. Now we're spending $5,000 per month on digital marketing. So this is where you kind of tweak and adjust the levers about where you're going to spend your money and how many leads you need to be getting to get to that $1 million mark. Again, depending on your average ticket value, this is where I see is easy to adjust, as well as the conversions. The better you are at converting people, the better your conversion to a booked move. If you have 10%, that, in my mind, that's really, really low. Let's talk about the quality of the leads that you're attracting. This is where 10% is usually where I see these lead generation companies. They're the 5 to 10%, if not less, is what I see book moves. A lot of the times because they're getting quotes from more than 4 or 5 moving companies, and you're just one of 10. So just be careful. All right, moving on. All right, marketing strategy. Where do you need to focus? Now, we have driving your leads. This is where a lot of the money is spent. Maximizing your conversions. This is typically kind of a one-time spend on building a website, building out your reputation management. You're building out an automation, some way of sending out funnels automatically. And then we have an optimize your results. This is just more breakdown of that same triangle, a little more detail about that. But this is where you can triple your sales if you get all of this right. And this is not buying leads. This is pure marketing. The goal here is omnipresence. The goal here is to get as many people as possible to know who you are. And if I Google your name, I need you to be everywhere. This is Blue Ox Moving. They've got display ads. We've got social media going on. You Google their name, they show up at the top of the search results. And, even from the SEO side, moving companies in Cyprus, moving and storage companies in Houston, they're typically on the first page at the very top. So how can we build out your marketing strategy so that you are on the very top? Do you have a strong foundation? What have you done in 2024 and what do we need to do in 2025? What areas do we need to be focusing on here to build on that foundation? Do we need a new website? Is our SEO on par with my competitors? Is my MatPat listing? Do I show up anywhere? How's my pay-per-click advertising going? What's my review reputation strategy looking like? Do I have a funnel for that? Am I getting regular emails? Online directories. Have I submitted into some of the local online directories that might be localized, local based? The Chambers is a local directory of local companies. Paid lead services. I'm not saying don't use the paid lead services, just be careful how much you spend and whether or not it's providing you an ROI. Direct mail options. I firmly believe in still using direct mail in augmenting your digital marketing strategy in combined. There's ways where people come to your site. If I can get their address, they can get an immediate postcard back. So that's just a really great tool. Again, it's just that top of mind. Retargeting for sure. If they've been to your site, I want them to see your site over and over again. Facebook ads, if you want, you can target real estate agents. These don't have to be recent movers, recent home sellers. That's kind of hard to target right then and there. They're, someone selling your home might be sold in 2 weeks. So real estate agents, property managers, construction companies, interior designers who do staging for homes. and of course, some offline networking. So if we can maybe ask a couple questions here. what have you learned? Anything that you've noticed and you'd like to share with others? I'd love to see it. Please, if you want to leave comments in the comment box, that'd be great to see. If you have any questions at all. Again, I'm trying to see if we've got, all right. No other comments. Okay. Let's switch here. Okay. There we are. I found the chat. Yay. Great. All right. Moving on. Let's, don't forget the ultimate internet marketing checklist. Be sure you download this checklist. This is a great tool also just to have I done everything I need to do. It's got everything in there. I'm not going to go read through every one of these. It's all in that checklist. Feel free to download it. Again, it's links.movingmarketingresults.com/IM checklist. Then let's talk into your website. Let's get into your website, and which is part of the growth marketing model, maximizing your conversions. Your website is your hub. Everything directs back to your website. If they've heard of you, they've gotten a referral, they got an email, they looked at your Facebook. Normally, they're going to go to your website. I need to know if you're a real company. Do you exist? What's happening? So your website is your way of letting people know that you're professional, that you are, you've got authority. I can trust you, I think is the biggest thing in the moving industry. Can I trust you? Are you going to show up on time? These are all things that we're going to address inside a website. Now, when we come to a website, I want to know how many people are coming. So we've got tools that'll let us know how many average leads that we're getting per month, how many paid leads we're getting per month, and how many are actually qualified. I know a lot of you want qualified leads. So that's kind of my goal. I want to make sure you get the right kind of leads, not just any lead, the right kind of leads, which is where we have a percentage of qualified leads when we give you our percentage numbers. So how do we optimize for conversion for desktop and for mobile? But how do we get people to call you and fill out the form? We've got all these ways. Is it a lead problem? Do we have enough leads coming in, enough traffic to the site, but we're not converting? Let's find out. So these are just a couple of examples. The one thing that I really, really believe in, and that's having a very clean website that primarily directs people to call and leave or fill out a form. I don't want them distracted. I do want them to use it as a resource. So I would like to see some engagement on the site. I want them to stay on the site a little bit. I don't want them on, if they've got to look at your reviews, if they can look at a blog, your About Us page, that's excellent. They can do that. But really, I want them to call and I want them to fill out the form. So that's always our main driving force when we build out our websites. And always trying to come up with what makes you personal, what makes you you, what makes you different than your Usually it's your team, your people. If you hire everybody and you do a very stringent background checks on everybody, that's a benefit. And I would for sure talk about that process, your hiring process. I would talk about your agreements and your partnerships with real estate agents and apartment companies, and just talk about how you built those relationships and why. But how is it that you are different? And I believe authentic photos and authentic videos make a huge difference, right? If you haven't done that yet, get rid of all of your stock photos and make sure you go out there and take some photos. You can do one round of professionals, but then come back and do just what we recommend every month. We are asking you for photos every month. I just need you to send me a stash of photos. When you're out with your phone, just take pictures, everybody. Just take a bunch of pictures. You can email it to us and we'll take it from there. Hosting videos on your site is really important. So if you haven't done so, I recommend a TikTok, an Instagram, and a YouTube, and just post to all three. If you're heavy on Instagram, stick with Instagram. Very cool. Obviously, TikTok is very still around as of Wednesday, January 22nd. Then you can still have some nice video created for you. There's all kinds of editing tools that I recommend using and upload to your YouTube channel and embed them on your site. You can see this is watch on YouTube. We're trying to perpetuate the brand. So the more often your name is associated with an online property, the better. So if I Google your name, I can see a search result, I can see a Facebook profile, a TikTok profile, an Instagram profile, a YouTube profile, and you have completely dominated your company in your industry name. And the more we can kind of share resources and all of these different tools, the better. And I want people coming back to your website, the ultimate goal. Sharing your reviews. Are you leveraging live chat? Again, we've got some AI tools that can help with this. A lot of people don't like talking to AI. It has to be done the right way, or have a real person there on standby answering. I just had a conversation today. They do use the text to chat tool. So it comes to their phone and they're literally texting back, but it's through the chat. That's available. But I do at least have that available to somebody to reach out to you. I think it's great, especially if you're in the middle of a move and I can't remember your phone number, for whatever reason, trying to reach you, I can't find anybody. Having this tool can help with customer service. But either if you're going to do AI, do it right, or you're going to do live and have somebody available. Because the worst is when you do a chat and it says, oh, we're not around. Leave us your name and email. Is your website mobile friendly? Google reports 40% of mobile users turn to a competitor's site after a bad mobile web experience. Always make sure your web experience on mobile is better than the experience on desktop, I would say. Quick story time. Perfect example. Client has a really bad mobile site, but he gets most of his traffic through mobile. But you can see on the right, the conversions are nowhere near, which says a lot. How much is he losing because of his mobile experience? How much business has he lost because his mobile experience is poor? Always, 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 what does your website look like on a mobile? These are just some, this is the same list that's on that checklist that I provided with you. Is your website optimized for search? These are all the elements that we need to make sure of is optimized for search. We have a page for every service and main city. I would also include, I would also say page plus, a page for every service plus location. I just watched a really great webinar from Joy Hawkins. She's one of the top SEO folks. I believe she works for Bright Local. And she was surprised to see that the service plus location pages are still very relevant, which means you would have a city, Houston, plus piano moves, Houston piano moves, Houston residential moves, or Sugarland piano moves, Sugarland residential moves, Sugarland moving company, and just you would have all these services attached to a city. So it becomes a very large website. But if you organize it properly, it doesn't become overwhelming. You need content for every page. Claim and optimize your Google business profile. We want to put that on your website. We want the actual location on your site, not the general area where you work. If you're in, again, because I'm in Houston, if I work within Houston, I don't want the Houston map. I want my map that's in Houston on there. Now, I might be looking to get out into Dallas, so I might have a Dallas map, but I don't have a Google business profile in Dallas yet. I'll put the Dallas map on there. But if you have the location of that, always make sure that your Google business profile, that is linked to your website. Add major data aggregators, put system in place for driving online reviews, which is another point. You should be always thinking about reviews. How can I get more reviews? I had 10 moves this week. How come I don't have 10 reviews? Always ask that question. How can I get a review? Citations are somewhat important, not as important as they used to be. A citation is making sure that your address matches essentially what's on Google Business Profile. Instead of, if you're using Suite D, but you don't use it and it's not being shown in other places, and we need to correct that. They all need to match. Now, you don't need to do that with 100 directories, 200 directories. Don't be paying people $100 a month to be updating your citations. There's really only the major aggregators like Yelp, MapQuest, Google, Facebook. All of these are kind of major aggregators of data. I would be checking those. And there's maybe, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 of them that you really have to be. You can still keep going, but I wouldn't be spending it. It's not going to do a whole lot for you if you constantly are getting citations and building them out. Now, you want citations that are more relevant. There's movingreviews.com. So if we can get a listing in there, that's great. Authority signals are our most important signal when it comes to SEO. We're looking for experience, authority, and trust. We were looking for multiple do follow links from other websites back to us, and multiple, as well as map embeds. Now, 71% of our clicks happen on the very first page. Of those, 67% go to the top listing. So SEO still does matter. That's the point here. And again, this list of EAT list is on that checklist that I talked about, which I should be able to provide that too. All right. Experience, expertise. Again, it's the same list here. We've already talked about that. How does your brand come up in search? So if I Google you, do you show up? If I Google your name, do you show up? If I Google, let's just do B2B moving Ohio, you should be at the top at minimum. If you've got competitors and you at least show up on the top, but you're essentially taking up the entire half of the search results, that's a good thing, as well as your Google Map results. We want to make sure that you're dominating the first page. Just some optimizations. Again, I think I'm going to just kind of fly through this because I just want to make sure you understand that this can get complex. When we build out sites, we build out an entire mapped out website. We do some research. We find out the best H1 tags, which is the title tags, your meta titles, meta descriptions. Yes, they all matter, by the way. All of this matters. Even if you show up number 3, but you get clicks, or maybe show up number 1, but you don't get any clicks, your title needs to be fixed. Your meta description might need to be fixed. Because we're trying to have more action oriented. Like you still have to have the keywords in the title, but you need to be a little bit more unique and helpful. All right. As to why should I click on you in terms of help? Pages for each city that you do, unique content plus nearby now to pass heat map data to the city pages, unique content on every page, blog with an ongoing updates, which I highly, one thing about blogs, it is good for SEO, but it is a great content syndicator. It gets shared on your social media posts as well as part of our email marketing process, where we're just on top. We're just top of mind. It's content that we're going to share. So it doesn't always have to be sales, move with us, call us now for your next move. It could be how to organize for your next move, how to help your children move to a new city, how to pack your garage, all these things that people need to know. I want you to be the trustful authority in your space, in your city. So another example is how to move during winter, how to move during with snow on the ground or whatever. But, how do we make sure that people remember you? And part of that is this content marketing. And it's also the authority building, the expertise. And we're going to have all these blogs show up everywhere, syndicate them, and then also show up on different spaces on your website. So it's not just a blog, it shows up on service pages. So if we have a residential moving blog, it'll show up in the residential moving page. We're just always trying to take advantage of all the content that we're generating. Is your site properly optimized? We just talked about a lot of that. Other areas, so this would be your H1 title. Is that a proper title for in that H1 space? Does it have the key phrases at the very top? Do we have the right title tag? Do we have the planning move around the Great Seattle area as an H2? Do we have Greater Seattle area? Is that the key phrase that we're looking for? We've got great content. We've got some, really interesting elements visually to be able to, our eyes kind of go to it. But in addition, we've got the right words, and we're doing some internal linking within the website. So packing and moving will go to the packing page. Planning and logistics might be another page that talks about planning for your move. And if you're selling we've got a client that was selling boxes, so you can do that. All right. A page for every service, a residential page, college movers, cross-country moves, labor only, every move you can think of. Then we have specialty moves, piano moves. We've got every page for every location, Allentown, Lancaster, right? Every single location needs to have its page. And you didn't see any of that. I was thinking about those tools. I have to look at the tab. So we've got experience and expertise authority. So we can see here, we've got pages for every service, optimize your titles, right? Your experience here. And does your brand and website come up in search? Does it show up constantly? So if I Google your name, how well does your business show up? So if I do B2B moving in Ohio, am I dominating this entire page with my website? And I've got sub pages in there. I've got my location, my Google business profile. I've got my Facebook, my Better Business Bureau. Like I'm dominating as much as I can. For example, on this page, dominating as much as I can on this page. You can see we've got fully everything's on here. We've got B2B moving company to the right. We've got, and of course I'm logged in, so we have access to the account, but we've got their Facebook, their Better Business Bureau. We've got their MapQuest, their Google business profile on the right. But how can I dominate as much as possible? On-site optimization, strong website with good content, user experience. We've got leveraging multimedia to improve on-page time. I want people to hang out. I want people to watch and spend a little time. That's one of those indicators that Google is looking for. If we get very fast bounce rates that come to the site and immediately bounce out, that's a problem. How can we people hanging around? Page for every service, for every city, unique content, keywords in the title, meta description that sell and don't just describe, they actually tell you to click. Your name, address, and phone numbers on the footer. We've got blog for ongoing updates, and we focus on page speed. Is it performing well? Does it download fast? We've got, is your site properly optimized, right? We got a little more information in here. I don't want 100 words on a single page. You could probably get away with 750 words on a service page, but from blogs, again, if you answer the question, you're fine, but 100 words typically doesn't answer the question, do you do residential moves? So we're always trying to fill in the content with as much helpful content as possible. Frequently asked question, photos, special inquiries, special cases that you might do, pictures. If you're doing piano moves, I want piano move photos along with the content describing maybe how you pack it, the special technique that you do, some reviews of people that have done your piano moves. And then and this is just more information, is your site properly optimized? Do we have a Greater Seattle local residential moves? H1 tags at the top. We've got the meta titles, what's in the tab. H2 titles are also important. We want to have a structure in place with those keywords. Great content, great photos, great media, video, in addition to interesting elements that maybe kind of draw your eye down to do more. We want a lot of internal linking. We want individual pages, a page for every service, even if it's a specialty service, cross-country, office, commercial, industrial, warehousing, storage, specialty moves, piano, who had it recently? It was a jacuzzi, hot tub moves. Do you move sheds? Do you move mobile homes? Most people don't. But if you do that, then you want to have a page about that. You've got to have every location that you want to target. If you are doing long distance, that's a little different. Long distance is very difficult to do if you want to show up in other countries, that's more of a paid thing. If you're in New York and you want to show up in California and do a long distance move, it's really expensive. So if you have the kind of budget to show up nationally to do long distance moves, great. Other than that, you're going to have to kind of stick locally. If you want to do a long distance move, it'll probably have to start in whatever location that you're targeting. Always have your moving keywords in place. These are just a few of them. Movers near me is the biggie. Moving company, moving companies. Google has gotten pretty good about pretty much moving company and moving companies is really the same. Google's gotten really good about understanding what terminology you're going for and what phrases that you're looking at. So I don't recommend, every single one of these moves. You'll notice if I do a search for moving company, moving companies, the same companies, moving companies will show up. So that tells me that Google looks at them as the same. But cross-country moves, movers near me, which you've already got at the top, student movers, college movers, piano movers, cheap movers, budget movers. Cheap and budget would be very similar. SEO leads are our lowest cost per lead. And if you're doing SEO, I want you to think about your off-page SEO as well. We want to make sure that we claim and optimize your Google Business Profile listing, get lots of citations across the web. Again, the right kind of citation. I don't want some random internet directory linking, just because. Like, we always look for the right kind of directories that are simple enough, not simple, that are specific enough that would make sense that Google would understand moving companies would be in this directory. So moving leads or movingreviews.com is one of them. I think there's a couple others where you can get free listings. Citations would be Facebook, Yelp, Better Business Bureau, MapQuest, some of these others. So those are the bigger citations, what we focus on. Absolutely build up your online reviews. We have our own tool for that. I know that tools like Smart Moving have a way of doing that, but I don't think that they are as aggressive as they should be. We've got tools like business cards that we hand out when you first become a client, that we give you business cards, a stack of them, the QR codes that link them back to the site for reviews. Backlinks, build authoritative links back to your website. So it could be Chamber of Commerce, especially if we're doing local SEO, Chambers of Commerce, local community service that you might be sponsoring. You can get a link back on those sites. Those are great. And then content syndication, all those blogs, we get them spread out. We don't officially do your social media, but what we do is try and get them blogs on your social media to show activity for sure. But I'm trying to get people driving back to the site to get them to take action. Are you building links? More than 70% of the battle is just getting those links. That's the hardest part about SEO. The easy part is getting your website built up, structured properly. That's the easy part. The hard part is getting your authority built up. And that takes a while. And just to be completely transparent and honest, it can take a year. It's not an easy thing to do. Do Google Maps matter? Absolutely. Are you ranking at all on the Google Maps? If you don't, try and pay for it. Try and show up on the maps using a Google ad. I think it's one of the most important things that you want to do. You want to be able to claim and verify your listing if you haven't done so. I think that's your top priority this year. You are going to have a physical location. You cannot get away with the P.O. box. You could do home. I haven't seen anyone successfully do it because you're a moving company, they're going to want to see your trucks. I 100%. They're going to want to. It's a live video. You cannot upload a video. It doesn't work. You have to live video this, walk people through your office, and they're going to want to see your trucks. So you have to be near your truck. You have to be in office. You have to physically have space to have a proper space on Google Business Profile. And then you're going to have to be sending people for reviews. Reviews are going to be a big deal. You're going to have to be posting real photos on there. Part of our request is you send us monthly photos. It's going to be looking at your updates on it, frequently asked questions on it. There's things that you can do on the site that I notice nobody's doing anything, and they're very simple to do. It doesn't cost any money. You just need to be uploading photos, making sure your categories are right, making sure your services are correct, making sure your locations are right, making sure that you've updated some, coupons or maybe some discounts. Maybe you got a family discount or referral discount. You're including those in the updates. So you have to be very active on it. I'm not going to go through all of this stuff here, but this is kind of where we're looking at in terms of building out your Google map. So this is one of our clients before. They were at 25. And then I think this is about 5 months later, we're showing high points at 50. We doubled the number of location times or business showed up on the Google local maps. I'm going to take a second here. If you could let me know if there's any other comments, I'd love to see what you've learned so far. What have you noticed? Anything you'd like to share? If not, I'll move on. Now, are you taking advantage of paid marketing? What have you done so far? What has it worked in the past? I get a lot of people that tell me paid ads didn't work for me. But when I look at the ad group and the way it was managed and the campaign itself, I can tell there's some real problems in there. It could be your budget's too low. I mean, I tell people minimum $1,000 a month. That's like the bottom minimum. You will not get leads for $500, $250 a month. It will not happen, especially in the moving industry. It's way too competitive. So minimum 1,000, then you're going to shrink your location as well. Every time we go out and out and out, you got to increase your budget because all you're doing is spreading thin your budget. The more we go out, the more budget you're going to need. So we can start small. If you have $1,000, that's fine. Just know that even with paid ads, it's going to take 3 to 6 months to get results. It just will. Someone's trying to tell you it's going to happen in 30 days. I'd love to see that because I've not seen it even with people coming to me later with paid ads from other people I've been running it. It's quality. They'll send you a bunch of leads, but are they quality leads? Are they, I want you to move my shrunk or my mom's bed 2 floors up in my apartment complex. Those are typically the moves we don't want. And those are the things you start to see because it's just super cheap. So how can we optimize your paid ads? And what are you doing so far with your paid ads? Are you using Google local service ads? Google, that in itself is a whole other area of paid ads that there's only so much you can do with Google local service ads. You get it set up properly, get the locations, get your photos, get it guaranteed, get your reviews in there, which by the way, reviews through Google Guaranteed way more than those you get through your Google business profile. So you got to focus on getting those people you get through Google Guaranteed, focus on those to get those. They do sync up with your Google business profile, your Google map, but the ones here in Guaranteed, they weigh more. Google looks at them more because people have paid, they've gone through the system. You got the lead, you paid for that lead, and you got a really great review. That helps push up your ranking in these ads at the top. Or you show up here as the text ads. But what I find missing too is people just put a text ad, but they don't fill out all the opportunities you can do with Google Ads. They miss the opportunities to add photos and video, and you can add so many different service descriptions and calls to action and landing pages, and they don't fill it in. There's so much that you're missing if you just do a text ad. So how can we get it so that we have, like here, these links at the bottom, our moving process, packing service, stress-free movers with a photo? How can we get this and versus 3-man movers, which doesn't have any of that? So how can we really fill in and put as much information into Google so it makes a better decision? We are losing control. Google is placing more and more emphasis on using AI to create these ads. So the more that we give it the right kind of information, the better we'll do. But just know that it just takes a while. There are paid online ad marketing opportunities. I say if it's working for you, awesome. Things like Equate, in Quote Media, Moving Leads, moving.com, Yelp, Angie, local service ads. If these are doing well for you, keep going. I just find that they are the lowest common denominator when it comes to the type of moves that you get. They don't convert well. these are the ones that are 5 to 10% conversion. The ones that you get through what we've set up are usually in the 50 to 65% conversion. Again, buying your leads. I'm not going to go through all of this here. We all know how that works. And why most pay-per-click fail. I kind of went through that a little bit earlier. We don't have a strong call to action. There's no real offer. We don't take advantage of all the add-ons and extensions. We're not including terms. We're not excluding terms, which is another thing I find interesting. People aren't excluding U-Hauls, pods, sheds. If you don't take sheds, if you don't do jacuzzis and hot tubs, they should be negatives. You should not be getting those. You should be communicating with the person managing your paid ad campaign saying, I'm getting sheds for some reason. Okay, let's make sure sheds and all variations of sheds are excluded. We don't get those anymore. These are those call out extensions and image extensions that I was talking about. Retargeting and display. We usually at the month 3 will add on display advertising. The very first 2 months, we're not getting enough people to your website. I can't retarget to nobody. I have to wait till we get traffic coming in order for people to start seeing your ads in different places. Now this is just this is if you go here to the ads.google.com/intl/en_us/home/local service ads, scroll down a little bit and you can put in what a typical budget is for Google Guaranteed. This is interesting if you're not sure how much you should be spending on a weekly basis. And I'll go here real quick. So if we scroll down a little bit, here. So if we put our postal code and how many leads a month I'm trying to get, and I'm in the, let's see, I'm a mover. So I should be spending $3,400 to $5,100 per month to get 100 leads. And that's Google Guaranteed. Now you can put your own zip code in there. Obviously that's going to affect it, competition, and how many leads you actually want to see. The thing about Google paid ads or Google Local is what I talked about earlier. You have to be very active on Google Local Service ads. You have to be in there marking people as either active, inactive, booked, and archive them. If they see you've got 200 active ads, it sends a message to Google that you've got too many ads, or too many leads. You can't manage them all. So they're just not going to put you at the top. So there's areas in there that you want to kind of manage when it comes to the Google Guaranteed. Always make sure that which services that you're doing. If you don't do junk removal, turn it off. I always turn off other because that kind of gives us the wild card. I don't know, that could be the sheds, the couch to move downstairs, that kind of thing. Oversized moves, if you don't do those, senior moves, obviously you want to keep this updated based on the kind of services that you do. Budget, locations, photos, services, always updating your most recent photos, always updating your locations. You can use zip codes, those work. We've done both. I don't really see a whole lot of difference. If you want to use cities, counties, I don't really see that big difference if you use one or the other. Zip codes just get super granular, but you can see how to the right are service areas and how we're kind of missing this whole area too. So that means I should probably go in there and update more zip codes or more counties in there. Again, all of these questions are in the Google checklist. Keep on going now. Social media, I'll say I'm going to keep this one short because what I've been finding out with social media is we will share content for you. Happy to do that. But the best, most engaging content comes from you. You posting the latest work that you've done, the latest move, the latest storage, the latest packing, the team, maybe you had a community service event, you had a free giveaway, maybe you were at a function, maybe you had an employee day or employee of the month. That's engagement. People want to see that in addition to your sales. Call us for your next move, as well as the blogs. But the better, more active you are, the more photos that you do, the better. And just being active on there. If you're not on TikTok, then don't share your TikTok. If you're not on YouTube, then don't share your YouTube channel. You can have a YouTube channel, put a video on there, but I wouldn't send people to it. There's nothing to see. But I would for sure get access to all of the platforms with your company name. Make sure you own your brand name with all these locations: TikTok, X, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, you name it. Try and get them all. Doesn't mean you need to be active on any of them. It just, if you're going to be active on Instagram, awesome, then that's where we'll send people to show your authority and your trust. But know that Facebook, 2.7 more local customers than other platforms. Instagram's pulling up there. 76% of customers have contacted a local business through social media. Yeah, I do see a lot of folks coming in through DMs, which again, we have a tool. All these DMs come into one location, so you don't miss those. Again, there's that. What are you doing? I see one more point that I see people are not doing is, are you sending people back to your site? I see great content. It's wonderful. Not every one of them needs to do that. But if you are going to share a blog or share a referral code or discount code, send them back to your site, please. Are you leveraging email marketing? This is part of the database we talked about very early on. Very early on, we've got our database. And we want to make sure that we have a proper growth model. As part of that growth model is driving leads using your current database. And we want to have your email. Are you leveraging email marketing? Our email marketing ROI time is 3 times higher than social media marketing. Local service businesses see 32% higher open rate than retail. Post-move follow-up emails generate 23% more referrals, and that's from the Moving Industry Analytics Report in 2025. So 100% email marketing is still very, very crucial. You own your leads. The people that have reached out to you before, that is your database of past leads and past referrals. So always be once a month. You can still send them, hey, we're coming up on our busiest time. We recommend you book by April 30th. If you do book by April 15th, you'll get $100 off or something like that and get people moving. But email marketing is a really great tool to keep top of mind. Don't forget those apartments that we talked about. We want people to come back next year when the lease is up. 2 years from now, these are the people that keep your company moving forward and growing, the people that come back and refer to you. Remember, don't forget referral discounts. Again, keep access of your entire database. Are you sending out monthly email newsletters? Are you leveraging email to get online reviews? We should have an email funnel. So when you book a move and you finish that move, we should be sending out constant emails to these folks. And once they review, send them a thank you. But we should be being somewhat aggressive with our reviews. A text request, an email request, a business card, and just the point is we need a review. Are you promoting seasonal offers? Are you re-engaging past customers with personalized follow-up campaigns? If you have somebody that you moved in an apartment, you could put the date of that move and then have an anniversary automatically go out. Happy anniversary on your move. Is it time to move again? More. Sending an email after every move, requesting a review. We just talked about all that. All right. Direct mail is another one. I still think direct mail works in augmentation with your digital marketing. Are you leveraging direct mail? Target your top zip codes, sort by income, range, value of home, proximity. I would have postcards for apartment complex, postcards for homes, postcards for office managers, and have each of them leverage those different target markets. Monthly email newsletter, remain on top of mind, drive more repeats. We just talked about that. Anniversary emails, we talked about all that. Oh, wait, I'm on direct mail. Sorry. All right. Retargeting, I highly recommend retargeting tools. So if somebody comes to your site, they get an immediate postcard sent to them. We can send usually about 40, just depends. If they land on a particular page plus 2 or 3 other pages, that would warrant a postcard. And we can set zip codes. So only the people in a certain zip code get your postcard. And That again helps. They've been to your site. Now they start seeing your ads because we're retargeting them online, and then they get a postcard. So just again, constantly that omnipresence, constantly being reminded of them. Yard signs. I know your moving truck is one big yard sign, but after you leave, or maybe before, while you're packing, do we have a yard sign out front? Anyway, just some thoughts. QR codes to send them to calls. We don't have to dial the number. Can we send them to the estimate request? Again, for reputation management, I keep harping on this. Part of your website, part of your Google business profile, part of everything in this is building on your reputation management. Soldier Strong as a client, they had 4.7 when she started. She's at 4.9, and it's really working for her. Her map listing is starting to show up everywhere. She's getting a lot more better quality leads, and it does make a difference. So 4.7, it's not terrible. Get it up to 4.8, 4.9. If you're anything under 4.3, do your absolute best to get more reviews. And this is just another example we talked about earlier. Always be asking for reviews and always be responding to these reviews. Do not leave reviews blank. Try and spend a little bit of time. There's some AI tools out there that can help you answer. If you're not sure what to say, it'll help answer very professionally. You can be casual, you can be professional, you can be exact. And then don't forget to incorporate some of those phrases that you're looking for. So somebody said, Jim spent spent so much time packing my TV for my new home. Those are keywords. Then what you want to respond to that is, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for a review. It's a great compliment as to our local movers and their expertise, right? So you're just putting these words in. Now, if we can get a review that has a photo in it, that's chef's kiss. If they can upload a photo of somebody with a truck moving it into the back of the truck and upload that as part of the review, that's even better. Google has their own AI that can recognize photos. So people physically actively doing moves and it's part of a review. Perfect. Is even a 4 and 5 star review. Always be checking your other reviews as well. We've got some that might not have such great reviews on Yelp. What do we do about that? It's a personal preference. If you want to go and start working with Yelp to gain some more reviews, I know I'll say it's a bit of a racket. I've had clients with legit reviews that are hidden, and it's very, very frustrating. That might be the first time they've ever left a review on Yelp, and Yelp doesn't want to show it. Or their feeling is that it's not a legitimate, whatever their reasoning is. And you'll see one bad review and there's 5 really great reviews hidden. So again, just know it's there, be aware of it. Same with BBB, Better Business Bureau. Just check where you're at. If it's on the Better Business Bureau, I would spend some time getting maybe a couple people over there to leave some reviews. If you had maybe some networking folks that really have enjoyed your work, ask them, see if they can go into the Better Business Bureau and leave a really great review. All right, so conversions, again, this is where we get into how for 2025, is lead flow really your problem? Getting leads to your site, is that really your problem? Or are we having a problem with converting the leads that you're getting? 90% of web forms fail to convert. So this is why I'm not a real fan of web forms unless you immediately call people within about a minute to getting them. Phone calls need to be picked up within the very first or second ring if you can. Leaving a voicemail is almost a kiss of death. You probably won't be able to reach out. They probably will not answer the phone when you call back because they probably won't recognize the phone, even though they just called you. They haven't added it to their phone. It's just a phone number. Now, it might, you might be able to leave a message, but I've just seen you've got to pick up the phone when they call. If you can't do that, you need some type of answering service. Then again, with the forms again. So of the qualified leads, only 10% booked. So could be a sales problem. It could be a follow-up problem. This is where we try and kind of work with the salespeople. How can we make your lives easier? So if somebody requests an estimate through a form, we want to immediately call them. But if we can also have an immediate, put them in a funnel, send them the ultimate moving checklist that we develop for our clients so that they have some tangible product from you, then that would be better than just nothing, no response, no email, no receipt of your request. So we always at least have a receipt, but we want to put them in a follow-up sequence. So that can help sales when they call up, say, hey, did you get our checklist? Yeah. Oh, great. I just want to make sure you got that. Now, how can I help you? Right. Answer every call within 3 weeks. Leads are not followed up with within 15 minutes. Will go absolutely stone cold. On average, only 2% of sales are made during the first point of contact. That means if you don't follow up, even with a simple follow-up email, you're missing out on potentially 98% of your sales. Today's consumer prefers to interact via text. Here's a solution. Leverage marketing automation to follow up, like I talked about, having some kind of email system set up so that they get a follow-up. If they call, they get immediate text back. Automate the follow-up so that every prospect is touched at least 5 or more times and able to engage via two-way text conversation. So that means automatic SMS reply and a possible AI receptionist. This is what I'm working on right now. How can I help moving companies using AI to answer the phone? Prevent abandoned form requests as much as we can. If you don't have a CRM like Smart Moving or Moversville, some of these tools, that's an operational CRM. We have a marketing CRM to help engage more for the email automations, for tracking leads, for tracking paid ads, for tracking SEO leads. But you still need some type of tool like Smart Moving so that you get these forms just don't get lost in the Never Land. I don't care if they go to a spreadsheet, quite honestly. I just need someone to be able to make sure somebody is responding to everybody that fills out a form. Is that what is happening? If not, that's something we need to address in 2025. Who's going to be answering every single one of these emails? And I'm not saying reply to the email. I feel like you got to pick up the phone and call every single person. Confirming receipts we talked about. As soon as somebody sends you a message, how can we confirm that you got that message? Live chat. How do we make sure that when somebody wants to have a conversation with you on live chat, that we have that conversation and it gets recorded and we have a follow-up system with them? So you might have a short chat with them, but do we follow up with them tomorrow to make sure you've answered the questions? Do you have anything of concern? Can we book that move now, right? Always that follow-up, always following up. Reviews and feedback automation, same thing. How do we get people into the automation system so that we can start building up your reputation? Again, this is all in that checklist. Marketing automation review. Make sure that what are the things in 2025 that we're going to be doing differently? Are you going to follow up with your leads? Do you have a conversion campaign set up so that any unconverted leads are at least addressed? Are you segmenting your leads? Do we have a way of segmenting apartment owners, homeowners, real estate, apartment managers, construction companies? Do we have that segment set up so that we can target these individuals? And automating our requests. Do we have an automated follow-up for booked moving estimates, reminders leading up to the moving day? Have we set up a customer service so that they know, don't forget, tomorrow at 10 a.m., our trucks are coming? The worst is, I feel, is when a client comes to you and doesn't know when you're arriving. I think that should be a text message. I think that should be an email reminder. I think the email reminder should have all these, here's how to prepare for your next move, how to prepare the day before. Remember, now, when I was pregnant, I had submitted to an email list. Every week I got an email about the size of my baby. Every week was, week 1, your baby looks like a pea. Week 2, your baby looks like a bean, right? You could be doing the same thing. Hey, your move is scheduled a week from now. Here's what to prepare. Your move is scheduled 3 days from now. Have you done these things? Your move is scheduled tomorrow. Have you done these XY things? The day of the move, the day after the move, have you any questions? Do you have any claims you'd like to submit? Here's the claims process, right? Don't hide claims. Don't try not to get a claim. They're going to find a way. So just be upfront about claims. Make sure you walk through before you leave the house. Any issues, sign off. Everything looks good. Of course, they're going to open up boxes later. So don't make it difficult for them. Make it as easy as possible and be upfront about that. But have an automated system for that. They fill out a claim after the move. Can we put them in an automation system so that their claims get addressed quickly they get an answer quickly, they get solved quickly. And if you can do all of those things, even if they're not real happy with you because something broke, I think you can repair that relationship if you're upfront about it. And part of that can be automated with some emails. Tracking is as important as well. So again, going back to our original, how many leads do we need to get? How many leads do we convert? And knowing those numbers are going to be really important. So triple the leads and reviews. How are we going to have scenario 2 where we have no follow-up in scenario 1, 10% conversion, but we have an automated follow-up in scenario 2? And we're trying to figure out where did we go wrong that we have a 10% conversion? Because what I'm trying to do is make sure that we have those unwanted leads those unconverted leads, and we convert them. What's going to happen? How can we go from a $12,000 a month to $36,000 because we've improved our conversion process? And do we have the right tools in place to track that ROI? Are we watching traffic trends in Google Analytics? Are we tracking your online ranking? Now, real quick mention about online ranking, your ranking for important keywords, that is going to fluctuate up and down every week. I don't recommend looking at those too often. You might be down 5, and then next week you're up 3, and then next week you're down 2, and it's shifting a lot. So just don't spend too much time on the keywords. We basically don't even like to report to you on keywords. We do have a few that we try and get shown up on the first page because they are very important, but they fluctuate so much. All I'm trying to do is get you the leads. I'm trying to get you phone calls. Call tracking, we always put call tracking for our websites. I want to know if they came from organic, if they came from paid, if they came from your Google, from a referral somewhere. Did they come from social? Did they come from, where did they come from? The paid ads as well as any forms. I need to know what happened so that we can show, are you getting a return on your investment? And so we put into place our own CRM called the Moving Up app and some other tracking tool to put in place, so that we know, do you have that in place? Do you know where your leads are come from? That's the question for 2025. If you don't know, that's something you need to start looking into. Do you have the tools in place to track? Again, this is just analytics. We're always looking, how can we increase our traffic to the website? Usually, this is pretty extreme, I would say, 25,000. It looks like this is an example of somebody that we just got a brand new analytics going, but so don't be too impressed by this. It goes from 3 to 668. But that's what we're looking for. Over month to month is another thing that we're trying to track is how are we getting the best leads, and where are they coming from? How are we tracking them? So we have got an opportunity status. 233 leads came in from the last 31 days. We had an $85,000 opportunity value. Again, it's based on your average move and then your conversion rate. So we increased for this one client 201% conversion rate. So they're the type of people asking for moves were more qualified as somebody they want to work with, rather than 10%, less than 5% when you're coming from these pay per lead kind of situations. So always track Google Analytics, track your SEO, how that's working, call tracking, a dashboard so you can show your cost per lead, total spend, projected ROI, and your CRM, your dispatch system like Smart Moving to track your leads and the source of the revenue. And again, my checklist is really helpful too. Ask you all those questions, but in a much short system. And then your lead generation, your target planner. Again, always be figuring out what your leads are going to be. How many leads do you need? How much do you need to be sending? What's your budget allocation that you want to be doing? So I would recommend kind of sticking around on that. And then ask yourself right now, what is your top action plan that you're going to do for this year? The top 3, I would say the first quarter. If you are still thinking about what you're going to do for your website now's the time to do it. By the time you ask somebody to work on your marketing and you're waiting till April, it's too late. it's going to be 3 to 4 months before you start seeing results. It might help a little bit just because it's the busy season in the summer. But I would recommend starting now and getting people working on your marketing now, spending money now, getting your website, your social media. If you're going to do paid ads, get that up now so that by the time the busy season comes in, we are rocking and rolling. We are in place, things are working, and you're starting to see the quality leads that you need. So what are the top 3 actions you're going to do in the next 30 to 60 days? So what we've covered, we've talked about setting up a clear plan for the year. Where are you going to spend your time? How much money you're going to spend? Where are we going to work on our website? Are we going to work on paid ads and Google Guaranteed? Are we going to spend some time on social? Where are we going to spend time on, and where are we going to put our money in to make sure that by the time April and May kick in, I am ready to go. Everything's all in place. We've realigned the KPIs and tracking. We mapped out a plan, a budget. We've talked about the different channels, your website, your social media, your paid ads, SEO, email marketing, automation. All of those are different channels. Important trends that we're thinking about, definitely utilizing AI, using AI voice, using real photos and real media, real pictures of your team to help build authority, setting up, and then also just, setting you up for massive success in 2025. I think it's going to be a good year. The market indicators are looking like it's going to be. We see growth in the home sales. We see growth with apartments. We see people going back to the office. So I think this year is going to be a banner year for us, at least better than 2024 for sure. Now, if you haven't done so, I would love it if you guys just left a comment in here. Let me know what you think. Be sure to call us if you have any questions. I would love to get on the phone with you and talk you through it. I always do a simple audit of your marketing. I kind of do a quick video, usually about 4 or 5 minute video to share with you what I'm seeing with your marketing. Happy to share with you on that. But usually it's like a 10, 15 minute conversation, and then I'll send you the audit. But happy to have that conversation. I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure you get my free photo shoot checklist. These are things that people haven't quite thought about. They don't know what to take photos of. They don't know how. And if you don't have the budget for a professional, these are just some ideas of the things you should be taking pictures of: landscape, portrait, backs of truck, team, functions, everything. I try to think of everything you can think of to take photos to make it easier for you and your team of just always thinking of media. And anyway, that's it. All right, let's talk. movingmarketingresults.com/schedule. Love to hear from you. And thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And let's make 2025 the best year ever. I look forward to it. See you later. Bye.